Oh, sup guys?
Yep.
I'm actually doing another collab on my channel. I got my boy Actionbrostudios. Just gonna tell him what you do, man, and we're gonna get going.
Usually I just make TikToks and YouTube videos about my cosplays and about fan film stuff that I'm currently working on. So mostly cosplay stuff though.
Right. You guys make sure you follow him on TikTok. How many you got now, man?
I'm pretty sure most of them are bots because there's no way I would get that popular in a week and a half like I did. But I have 1,062 followers. I think.
All right. Well, let's make it 2,000. So you guys, go ahead and go over there. You guys go ahead and show him support, and also go ahead and follow him on YouTube. I'll leave links to that all down below in the comment section. So,
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and get into our first topic. And I know this can be a bit controversial with everything that's kind of going on with like DC and all that. You know, there's this guy. You know, he wears a red suit, and he likes to run around the city, terrorizing just poor innocent people who've turned into mutants, and they have nothing to do with anything. And so. You know, we have our boy the Flash, and so what they're doing with this thing, so what they're doing with this Flash movie is like it's kind of like has me a little bit concerned. I know we've talked about this multiple times, where it's like you know what they're doing with like trying to erase like Cavill's Superman and Ben Affleck's Batman, like that. I don't think that they should go down that route. And you know, it's something I held off about talking on my channel for a while because I didn't want to like rile up anything or like jump to conclusions. But with all the set photos we've been seeing with like Batgirl and stuff like that, and seeing Michael Keaton's Batman, it's looking very likely that that's their direction they're going. So, what would your thoughts be on that as well?
I mean, like, I don't want to necessarily have them, like, write out Henry Cavill's Superman movies because that was the foundation of the DCEU. But, like, to have, like, Supergirl, that's fine. It's just explain it in a way to where, you know, it's still continuity in it, but you don't always have to show it, you know? But I mean, you can erase small stuff, but I wouldn't erase the core foundation of it.
No, not at all. Especially like you said, that's where they began with the DCEU, is with Cavill's Superman, and still to this day. I mean, I think I saw a poll and stuff like that, so I'm not the only one who feels like this. Polls normally have said that a lot of people's favorite Superman is Henry Cavill. So, you know.
Well, mine's Henry Cavill and Tyler Hoechlin on Superman and Lois. I didn't really like him at first, but now he's like, oh yeah, I could definitely. He's one of my favorites.
they stopped making him such a wimp. Oh, Supergirl, no, stop hitting me.
Right.
You know, that's the thing that I felt kind of odd about, was how much they depowered Superman to make Supergirl so powerful in the Supergirl show. That just didn't make any sense to me.
And I especially didn't like some of the powers that Superman had in Supergirl. His laser vision was white instead of red. And I'm like, why?
I'm thinking to myself, is this Bizarro or is this Superman? Maybe that'll explain why he's so different.
Right.
But yeah, that's something that they should not do. I don't know how I feel about like bringing back Keaton's Batman. I mean, I'm excited to see it. Don't get me wrong. I really want to see it. But like for him to replace Ben Affleck, I'm just like, I'm a bit iffy on that.
Because Ben Affleck should be the definitive Batman in that universe because he's already set up. You know, like he hasn't got that much screen time except with Zack Snyder's Justice League, which is awesome. Chef's kiss. Yeah. But like at the same time, like I would do, if you're gonna bring Michael Keaton back, I'd do a Batman Beyond situation film or series with him instead of just having him come back in the main continuity. Just have it like as a separate universe kind of thing. Just how the Batman is, and then just, which I haven't seen the Batman. I want to though, because I'm starting to see spoilers. But
well, I will say this: like, I think everybody was asking for that Michael Keaton Batman Beyond movie, because it's like literally when they announced that Michael Keaton would be coming back, everybody was like, "Oh shoot, are they doing Batman Beyond?" Because older Batman. Then they're like, "No, he's just gonna throw on the suit again and just somehow still be able to just wing it." Wink, wink.
Yeah.
But you know, like I don't know how like they're gonna, and it's not me also trying to dump on Michael Keaton or anything, but like I don't know how much longer you can keep doing that either, you know, because he is old.
Right.
Like people were complaining about Ben Affleck being way too old to be Batman. Look at Michael Keaton. Like,
I thought it was like the perfect age for Ben Affleck.
I would have preferred, if they would have brought him in, I would have preferred if he was like maybe mid to late 30s.
Right.
Instead of like mid 40s to late 50s.
But like, you also have to understand, like, he's at that point to where he's already had Robin, and he's had multiple, like, experiences with Gotham at that point.
Yeah, to the point where it makes him Punisher with a cowl on.
That I would actually want to see.
Let's campaign for Marvel to do that, please. Copyright Actionbrostudios.
I'm kind of optimistic about the Flash movie though, because like at the same time I'm excited for it. Like, it's been years since we've wanted a Flash movie, but it's like the whole like Black Widow thing, like, it's been so overdue. Is it actually going to live up to what it's supposed to be?
Right, you know? And does it overall feel as necessary as they're trying to make it, if that makes sense?
Right.
Like, that's something I also noticed. And, like, I'm not sure, like, the suit that they have for the movie, I think looks good from the front on in that one shot they had with the visors coming down. Like, that looked okay. Right. But when it was straight on, he's looking up and you see like the weird mask design, that didn't work for me.
Well, I think it's the CGI is not done yet either, and I think like they put it together real fast. I don't think they really planned it to look good for like the trailer that came out, but like over time it will be better. Obviously,
I would hope so.
Yeah. Ben Affleck's supposed to be in this film too as his last appearance as Batman, and I don't know how I feel about that, because like with writing characters off, like you don't have to like kill them off. Like you could just mention the character's busy doing something and can't be around. You know, like you don't have to. I understand how the actor doesn't want to play the character anymore, but like at the same time, you could just say. So.
You just, I'm sorry, you kind of froze for a minute. I didn't hear what you said after writing the character out.
Yeah.
But I 100% agree with what you're saying. And with the Peacemaker series too, it was interesting what they did there, because you notice something that, like, I think it's weird because I don't know if they're trying to do like a course correction for the whole killing thing with Ben Affleck, but you notice that in Peacemaker he said, you know, Batman should kill his enemies and stuff like that, but this version of Batman is killing his enemies. So
I think they're trying to make audiences like Ben Affleck's Batman a little more than they already do. Or they don't like Ben Affleck. I think that's where it kind of comes in. But like at the same time, like Ben Affleck's Batman is realistic, but also comic booky in the sense where, like, oh, some of his weapons don't make sense. Oh, you know what? Just go with it because he's Batman. Like,
Right,
you gotta
right.
keep that
Like for example, like that grappling gun, like that should pull any man's arm off, but because it's this version of Batman, it works for what they're trying to do.
Right.
So and the thing is with the Flash movie too is what they're trying to do with this whole multiverse stuff. It like the thing I'm kind of concerned about. Like I am very optimistic when I saw that one spot where it has the front on shot.
Yep.
Like that got my attention. Like, wait a minute, hold up. But one thing that I'm worried about, and I think we all can agree here, is the continuity going to be messed up after this to a point where it gets confusing?
Oh god, DC needs to get their heads together on the continuity stuff, because like redoing the continuity is fine if you make a few mistakes that you actually don't like. But don't erase, like, everything that you've messed up on. Because that's just gonna... Because a lot of fans actually like what they've done with certain characters in the extended universe. And to have them rewrite some things, fans are gonna be mad about it. So...
Yeah, and the thing is, I would even say, own up to it, too. Like, maybe if they wanted to, they could be like for example, with Michael Keaton's Batman, they could have it to the point where like Flash kind of meets up with him, and then he's basically like, oh, so both of these two Batmen kill, and they kind of make fun of that, like stuff like that would work. But like trying to just like kind of scoop it under the rug, that just feels like you guys are ashamed of what you created. And I'm saying just own up to it.
Right.
But that...
And I think like the other problem... What were you saying?
You go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, I think the other problem DC struggles with is because they don't have their own version of Kevin Feige that plans out projects for 10 years and stuff. Right. They don't know what they want to do. They're just like putting stuff together and just releasing it without a plan. So
right. So that normal, that's very true too. But even with that, what they should have done, and this is where I feel like, because a lot of people did get kind of turned off from DC when the DCU tried to do more than what it needed to do. Like for example, like Batman vs Superman, that should not have happened until maybe 4 or 5 movies down the line.
Yeah.
Like that should not have happened until that point. But it's not even Snyder's fault, because his original like vision was he was gonna have individual solo movies, but they were like, you gotta make that money and catch up with Marvel. And then he's like, how am I supposed to handle all this? Right. So, I can't really blame him for that.
Well, that's the studio wanting just money, just to have money. And that's not really like working hard at your projects. It's just, oh, we need money, so let's just do this now, versus waiting a couple years, making a good team in separate movies, and then having like an Avengers level movie to tie them in.
Right. And that's the problem with, like I said, and everybody now, originally you remember DC. We did not have this DC and Marvel debate years ago around the time of when The Dark Knight was out. We didn't have debates like that. Right. But because of what they did with trying to rush everything, now it's like you either love or hate DC. I'm like, why can't you just like both,
Yeah.
But anyways, I feel like we've kind of expressed our concerns with The Flash. And let's go ahead and talk about a little bit more optimistic things about it. I mean, there are things that I think are cool. Like I said, we kept saying front shot of the suit looked really dope.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing Keaton back, I mean, even though it feels unnecessary, I'm so excited to see Michael Keaton. He made a really good Batman.
I've seen the set photos of Batgirl, and Michael Keaton's suit just looks fire. I'm ready to see it.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm kind of looking. I'm like I
it
saw
looks
that
a little bit different than the Batman Returns suit, but it still feels classic, and I love it. I'm excited to see it.
One thing I would love for them to do, and I'll edit in the scene, I would love for him to talk to Barry, and before you see him take off his mask, you see the eyeshadow disappear randomly. He takes off his mask in front of Barry.
Yes.
And Barry's like, what just happened? Yeah. That would make me laugh so hard in the theater if they do that. Like, you know. But yeah, there's that Supergirl. There's potential for what they're doing there. Just don't have her replace Cavill, and we'll have something pretty interesting there.
Right.
Also, I'm interested to see what they do with the different Barrys, because it seems like Barry's wearing like one of Keaton's suits, but it's spray painted the Flash colors.
See, now that's a great idea for him to do that, because if that Barry is from Keaton's universe, like, how else would Barry make a suit if Star Labs doesn't really have the technology yet? You know, like, you could do that, and that would make sense. But there's a lot of theories going on that Barry is like the evil version of Barry that's gonna be the villain in the film later on. And I'm like, I could see that. It's just I don't want another Zoom kind of thing, because we already had that with the show, and Zoom was great. And the evil Barry thing is from Savitar from season 3 of The Flash, and that was really cool. Yeah, I predicted it, but that was still pretty cool. Like, I could definitely see that as happening to that Barry and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That could be cool.
It's interesting because I think that would be kind of predictable, but at the same time, I think it would be a really cool metaphor for the fact that Barry's worst enemy in this instance of what he's created is technically himself, because he started this. He went back in time. He tried to save his mom. He tried to do all this other stuff.
The only concern I have about the whole storyline about this is, are we going to see the Reverse Flash? Because he's responsible for Flashpoint, basically. Yes, it is Barry's fault, but it's mostly done by the Reverse Flash. So are we going to see that other Barry be a variant, I guess, of the Reverse Flash or something? That could be kind of interesting. Right.
Another instance I could see them going with, too, is maybe they may not even have, like, a specific, like... now, I know the movie's titled The Flash, but maybe they might go in a direction that might not even be, like, a Flash villain, per se. Because, really... From what we've seen in like footage, we've barely gotten, like, not even barely, we haven't gotten any looks at any of the villains at all. So we don't know. We technically don't know much about this movie. Like, we only got that little teaser, which was total bullcrap in DC fandom, because the Flash only got a couple like minutes, and then everything else got like more time. But that we still don't know hardly anything. Like, it was just Ezra talking about it a little bit, showing us the teaser. Maybe like that was like a 40-second, a minute teaser. And that was it. We still don't have anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know.
And also, I think it's the studio trying to copy Marvel to where they tease us with stuff before actually showing us everything, you know. Mm-hmm. There's that too.
Yeah, and everything that's going on with that. I know Morbius is coming out next month, which is hilarious that we get 2 Batman in a row, but
right.
But yeah, the Flash movie, has a lot of potential, but there's a lot of concerns. But overall, I think we all should probably just go in and try and go in with a little bit more of an open mind, because I feel like I was kind of bitter against this a little bit. But when I saw that shot, I was like, I'm pretty sure not everything in this movie, even if they do some stuff, not everything in this movie has to be terrible,
Right.
Like, I don't believe in, that's a lie. I was about to say I don't believe in a bad movie, but I was like, okay, never mind, I'm taking that back. But like if you see my channel, guys, you guys know I've reviewed some seriously bad movies, like $1,000 budget movies, and those are terrible. So yes, I can say there is a such thing as a bad movie, but I don't think this is going to be entirely bad.
Great.
So, yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and move on to our next topic, because that's enough talking about Barry Allen and his beating up on helpless mutant people who, just want to live in society. So, what was that? What was that other guy hedgehog baby? What's his name again? He's blue. He likes to run super fast. He collects rings. He bops robots in the head, minding their own business. Oh yeah, Knuckles. I mean, Sonic. Sonic. Yes, that's the one. Yes. So we have Sonic 2 coming out, and the more trailers we get with this, the more and more impressed I am by it. It looks beautiful, man.
Right. And I love the fact how Dr. Robotnik is coming back with Jim Carrey, and his new version of the look of the character is very classic to the games, and I love it. He's even got the bald head still, and that's awesome. I love how he's continuing to go into the character and just having fun with it as always. And Ben Schwartz, who voices Sonic, is the definitive Sonic for me now, because he's just awesome.
Yeah, his voice sounds like a Sonic that you would envision probably being in live action, right?
Right.
So there's that. They got the original voice for Tails, which was a great choice, because that is like the Tails voice. I mean, it's hard to replace that, honestly. Idris Elba as Knuckles. When I heard that casting, at first I was like,
I wasn't sure about it, because I would have preferred The Rock maybe voicing Knuckles, because that would be kind of cool.
But The Rock's voicing everything nowadays.
Yeah, but he's also a good choice. As soon as I watched the trailer with it, I'm like, you know what? It works.
That's exactly what I thought when I watched it. I was like, at first I was like, yeah, then I heard the voice and I was like, you know what? Yeah, never mind. I'll shut up now.
Yeah. It seems like the studio has faith in this movie, because they've already confirmed the third one plus a Knuckles series on Paramount Plus. So I'm kind of interested to see what that could lead to.
But there's one thing I want to say. The visual effects, man, I'm not going to lie. They look great. Like, yeah, like I was like, they improved the effects from the last movie really, really well. Like, because originally, the reason why I think Sonic didn't look like he was always there before was because of that correction they did with the whole original design, and they corrected it, and they poured a bunch of money into doing that. Now they have that design, so they can just go with it now. Right.
And I think the thing is with that too, on the effects being better, I think it's a bigger budget possibly. And, it's the success of the first movie that is what generated enough money to have the second one be bigger and better.
Yeah, this one, it looks like they're giving us more of what worked in the first one, and they're just like, go with it, man. Go with it.
Right.
I will say this to anybody, and I cannot stand when people say, oh, I cannot stand animated movies. Animated movies are just, I can't relate to them. Meanwhile, you're just watching a blue CGI hedgehog one, and you're like, oh, this is amazing. Bro, it's animated. What you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, that stuff, that gets to me. I'm sorry, but anyways, speaking of multiverses past Sonic and all that, Action Bros, that doesn't seem fair. That just doesn't seem fair, you know? Like, I lost my white robot boyfriend, and I lost my previous robot boyfriend, and I basically, like, hypnotized the whole town, and then somebody congratulated me for doing that. So, it hardly seems fair that I would be the villain now. And I'm the villain in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And I would happen to be Wanda Maximoff, who's going to be playing a very big role in there. So, that movie looks bananas. Like, the endless possibilities of what they can do in the Multiverse of Madness is just mind-boggling, man.
There's so many fan theories out there, and people are wanting every character to have a cameo, and I'm like, okay, at some point, you have to have those cameos, but at some point, like, you can't fit everyone in it.
Right, there are two characters that I'm almost entirely certain that a lot of people don't know are going to be in there, but I'm entirely certain that they're going to be in there. One is, and this is going to sound shocking, Ash from Evil Dead, because
I've heard about that.
There was a listing I think I saw with Bruce Campbell in there, and I'm like, who else did Bruce Campbell play as in a Sam Raimi movie, which also happens to have a comic book run of Ash versus Marvel Zombies?
And, like, he has said in an interview that he was looking at the script and there was a beloved character of him that people have loved for years. So I think that's the character he's going to play. Or a lot of people think that Bruce Campbell is going to be one of the people from the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man film.
I was thinking that. I was just about to joke about that. Have it be like, he walks up to Doctor Strange, shoelace. You might want to. May I help you?
Yeah.
But come on now. That's too big of an opportunity to miss out on. That, or they could go in this direction too. And I just now thought of this too. If they wanted to go in a direction besides Ash, remember who Bruce Campbell was supposed to play as in the original Spider-Man movies? He was supposed to be Mysterio. So that would be interesting if they went that route and had him be Mysterio in this one.
Right. I would love to see that, because I've always thought of him as like, oh yeah, he's gonna be Mysterio somehow.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I mean, he's been following Peter all over the place. I mean, how is this guy conveniently around Peter all the time? And it's the same daggone dude torturing this boy. Right. Oh my god. But there's that, and also am thinking that Toby Mcguire's Spider-Man is going to be in there. And there's several reasons to believe this. Number one, that interview they had with all three Spider-Men, with that one dude, the older dude, Toby Mcguire was quiet throughout almost the entire thing while Tom and Andrew kept talking. But the entire time...
he has actually said, like, stepping back into the character kind of, like, opens, like, kind of closes his story, but doesn't close the chapter. And I think that's why he's going to be in Multiverse of Madness, is because, like, just there's too much evidence, like there was for No Way Home. Like, there's too much evidence for it.
That and I saw somewhere that the Indian, or I guess like other, I'm just gonna go with that. And if you guys want, you guys can dog after me in the comment section. Don't involve him. please. He didn't make the mistake. I made the mistake. All right. So there was a voice actor who played as Toby Mcguire's Spider-Man in the other movies, who voiced this character, and he voiced him in No Way Home as well, in the translated version.
Yeah, there's that set photo of the dubber of Toby Mcguire and one of the costume designers of Multiverse of Madness, and I'm like, that's not a coincidence.
No, that ain't a coincidence.
Why would the dubber be on Multiverse of Madness set when Toby's not going to be in it? He's going to be in it.
Seems very likely. Seems very, very likely, honestly.
And there's also a theory that Wanda is going to fight Spider-Man and he's going to kill off Toby. And I don't know how I much believe that, but at the same time, like, I'm kind of interested to see it, but maybe not kill him off.
I'll tell you right now, if she lays one finger on my Toby, I will personally.
It's interesting to want to see them fight together because they've never fought in the cinematic universe before. But like at the same time, don't kill him off, please.
No, that would make fans mad, man. They'd be like, "Are you kidding me? Wanda Maximoff killed off Spider-Man?"
Well, the first time I watched No Way Home, I thought he was gonna die because he was stabbed. When he gets stabbed, I thought he was gonna die because.
Dude, that pissed me off bad. When I saw that in the audience, I was like, everybody went, "Oh!" I was the loudest. I was like, "No! Oh my god!"
That was my theater too.
It was just like, are you serious? You can't kill him off like that. But yeah, it was just like, but if they had that happen, I think we're all just gonna lose our crap.
Right.
And we're all just gonna go in with like shotguns, storming Marvel Studios, and directly going after Feige.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think there's a crossover. I think I saw into Toon World as well. I don't know what to say there. I don't know if they're gonna have any slight cameo there with a Toon version of anybody. Maybe they might have a Spider-Verse thing.
Maybe
that would be weird if they did that, because then it would be like, what's the point of having Toby in there? But
right.
But I mean, again, I wonder what they're going to do with that too. But the Illuminati, now this is something we were constantly discussing before with who is going to be Black Panther, who is going to be this, who is going to be that. Tom Cruise Iron Man, I'm 100% sure it's going to be in there as a superior Iron Man.
Yes, and the main reason why Tom Cruise wants to be that version of Iron Man is that you can see his face. And I understand that. It's just like, there's so many other ways you could be Iron Man, but still not that version of the character. Like,
exactly. That's very true.
That would be cool to see, though. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of have always wanted to see Tom Cruise as Iron Man, because originally he was supposed to be cast, but they went with Robert Downey Jr. instead.
So. Yeah, that's that, and I think personally, they might do a recast Black Panther for the multiverse version, but it would also be interesting if they had Michael B. Jordan as a good version of Killmonger, as one of the kind of change it up just a little bit, but not so much to the point where it's like disappointing fans. That would be interesting if they went in that direction. You'd be like, oh shoot, it's actually a good Killmonger, Yeah,
or you can have a variant of T'Challa be Michael B. Jordan, and he's the new Black Panther variant. I know Marvel Studios have not wanted to recast him because of Chadwick, and it's still so sad about it, because I loved him and stuff, and a lot of people did, but like at the same time, like, you're eventually gonna have to recast those characters anyway. So, like, to do it with the Loki series and have variants is the right way to go for it, because it's not the same exact Black Panther. It's a little bit different. But I also want Shuri to be Black Panther, too, because that happened in the comics, too.
I think we all do, as long as Marvel handles it right this time.
Right.
I don't know why they haven't been able to handle their female superhero movies that well, but it's just, as long as they do it right, I'd be down for it. Because I that's something I thought about from the very beginning, was like, whenever T'Challa passes the mantle, I'm like, it has to be Shuri at this point, because she's awesome.
Right.
And so, like, I would love to see that. But we also have our boy Wheels, Xavier.
Yeah. Which, at first when the trailer came out, he was denying it. And apparently he just confirmed it, like how people can recognize him by his earlobe and shoulder. And I'm like, so you're trying to hide it, but you basically just confirmed that. Like, even worse
liar than Andrew.
Right.
Like, at least Andrew was like, there's nothing to tell, bro. Oh my God, this is ridiculous. Right. I feel so ridiculous about this. I'm not in the movie. Oh no, wait, no, he didn't say that. He didn't say that. He said, I'm not the werewolf, bro.
Right, and I think that's what Ryan Reynolds is doing right now, because he literally just said that I'm not in this movie, bro. And I'm like, he's in the movie. Yeah.
Plus, they were constantly trying to get Deadpool into the MCU somehow. Which, again, this is a good opportunity, because, excuse what I'm about to say to people that they might find as disrespectful. This would put more balls on the MCU, because they could do a Deadpool movie set in the MCU, but also R-rated.
Yeah, right. And they are updating Disney Plus parental controls, because they're putting all the Netflix Marvel shows on Disney Plus at the end of this month for US, and they're gonna have to do that. And my question is, like, well, since you're doing that, like, are those shows gonna be canon to the MCU, or are they gonna be in the Marvel Legacy section, to where they're not canon, but they're still a part of Marvel? So, like, I don't know if they're gonna be canon or just in that section.
That's a good question.
What I'm interested in. Yeah.
I mean, I would say anything is possible, considering we got a dude all the way back from '89 to reprise his role as Batman. Anything is possible at this point. Yeah. I mean, like, as far as I know, they could literally go over and get Christopher Reeves to come back. All right. Anyways, we're going to move on. I think this is a good time to end that. Doctor Strange looks really good, and I'm excited to see it. That's pretty much all I gotta say. But that new Across the Spider-Verse movie, though, I'd be lying if I said that wasn't one of my most anticipated.
I like it. However, I do have some complaints about it.
Oh, here we go again. All right. Let's go ahead and get into this.
For the most part, it looks great. The only problem I have with it, it's not a huge problem, but to me it is, why are they labeling it part 1 and part 2 instead of just, like, having it as, like, the second film, and then, like, the third movie, you could have part 1 and part 2 to be like a 4-movie kind of thing, to where that would be more impactful, instead of just the second one being part 1 and the third one being part 2. That just kind of seems weird to me. But I do like it. I like the animation style. I love the new suit that Miles has, and the new suit that Gwen has. It's just like, if it's supposed to pick up right where Into the Spider-Verse left off, how do they have new suits? And how do, like, how are they taller or buffer? Like, how? If it's
I have
supposed
the
to
answer
be
to you.
that
I have the answer to
suit.
your question. All right, I have the answer. Wait, hold on. I have to grab something. This is the answer to your question. All right. So you see this. This is called a weapon that kind of like makes people just yeah. Don't think about it too much. Don't think about it too much. Just go with it because it's Spider-Man.
Right.
It is Spider-Man.
Right.
No, that's around. But I actually,
mean, the first one was great, so I have hopes for this one.
no,
And I'm excited.
and the thing is, I'm gonna pick this thing up because I tossed that. I meant to hit the camera, but I completely messed it up. Anyways, so what I was trying to say was, yeah, I do know a lot of your concerns, and that was something I was kind of like, I want to say I felt like negative about it. I was confused for a minute because I was like,
Right.
wait, if this is taking place after the first movie, I'm like, why is Miles seem so much, older, So that did seem a little bit confusing. And there's a couple of things that I'm like, so they're bouncing across these Spider-Verse stuff. Is this going to get too, out there with, what they're trying to do with all the Spider-Man,
Well, they're also adding new characters too, like the Japanese Spider-Man, and that casting just feels so weird because, like, I'm not gonna lie, I do like him. I do like that version of Spider-Man. How he does have the Megazord type thing.
He has a machine gun
at
too.
the same time, like, why would you put him in this film though? Out of all the Spider-Verse people, why put him in here? So
wait. I'm gonna be pissed off if they don't do this. They better have Japanese Spider-Man pull out a machine gun and start shooting at people like he does in the actual series.
Right. And I'm excited to see 2099 too.
Oh yeah,
like, he was really good in the post-credit scene.
Did they? Do you know if they called him Miguel in the movie?
I think they did in the credit scene of the first one. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch.
Yeah,
but yeah,
if they don't call him Miguel, then I feel kind of off about that, honestly.
Right.
Because I'm like,
Sony is saying, like, if Into the Spider-Verse Part 1 gets good reviews, they're gonna make a live-action 2099 movie. And I'm like, okay, why do you have to wait for the response for this movie when it's been a beloved character for years now?
I would love that, but at the same time, I'm still kind of butthurt that we haven't gotten a Batman Beyond movie. So,
right. Well, yeah, but still.
I mean, I get it, but I'm just like, I'm kind of butthurt about that. I'm like, please give us Terry McGinnis, please.
Yeah.
Or as what the African movies say. I'm gonna say it to DC right now, Warner Brothers. Why are you running? Why are you running? Like, seriously, make it happen. Jesus Christ. The perfect example of how you can make the Batman Beyond mask work is how in Batman Begins when he sprayed Scarecrow with that fear gas and his whole face looked covered like that.
Right.
You can make it work. You can make it work.
Right. But the other thing about Into the Spider-Verse 2 is that if you're going to do a second one, please bring back Peter B. Parker. Because Jake Johnson was awesome as that Spider-Man.
They have to. But again, I mean, I can see why they wouldn't. I mean, it would be disappointing if they don't, but I can see why they wouldn't because I can understand that they're having the original series Spider-Man come back.
Right.
So that might be a lot of Peters running around, but at the same time, it's just like we had Penny B. Parker. Like, come on now.
Yeah. And a lot of people are actually wanting them to go to the universe of the Spectacular Spider-Man and to have Josh Keaton as Spider-Man. And I'm like, I want to see that as much as the rest of you, but like, I know they're probably not gonna do it because you know, like they've already have the script together if they've put out a trailer and stuff. You know,
they need to bring my boy back because Spectacular Spider-Man is the show that made men's balls drop.
Right. It got canceled after season 2, and it was like the greatest, like, what's it called? Cliffhanger. And I'm like, okay, we're in season 3, gonna come out. Mm-hmm. Never happened. Ultimate Spider-Man. And I'm like,
are you talking about Ultimate Spider-Man or Spectacular?
Well, both, because they were going to do season 3, but they dropped the project because Disney got the rights to Spider-Man for the TV side of things, and then they did Ultimate Spider-Man with Drake Bell.
Right. So, okay, like, I can see what you're talking about now.
Please continue it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, just make it happen, please. We've all been begging for it. It's almost like studios, like the way you like tell them, hey, we want this. And the studio's like, oh, so, like for example, they're like, we want Ben Affleck back. Oh, so you want Michael Keaton to replace Ben Affleck? All right, we'll do that. Wait, no, we didn't ask for that. Wait, what you guys doing?
Right.
That's what studios do, and I'm just like, why aren't you guys listening? Like for example, I know you're not into anime or anything, but there is this little series, guys. I'm just gonna do it right now. Dragon Ball Z. You guys know I love Dragon Ball Z. We asked for them to change the character for years. And you know what they did? In this newer manga chapter, they gave him a new form, and we're like, oh, he's gonna do his thing. Oh yeah, guess what? That character loses. He loses. Why? So studios do this all the time. We're just like, just listen to the fans for like, okay, I won't say listen to the fans all the time because sometimes fans come out with stuff that's really out there, but you know, stuff that
Plus,
you know
have
could
to
work.
Do your own thing too.
Right. So. Stuff that you know can work, go with it, you know?
Great.
Like,
but anyway, I'm excited for Into the Spider-Verse too.
Yeah. It's funny because I feel like this year, like the last year and so has all been multiverse stuff.
Right.
That's the popular thing now. Watch. Next thing you know, Fast and Furious into the multiverse.
I could totally see that, and I would be on board with that, to be honest.
Instead of seeing Dwayne Johnson as what was his Hobbs or something? Was he Hobbs or was he Shaw? I'm trying to remember.
I think it was Hobbs. Maybe Shaw. Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna have to rewatch.
I don't have the brain capacity to rewatch Fast movies.
I stopped at like Fast 5.
I stopped at Fast 2 because I remember somebody showed me that and I was like, what is this bull crap you put before me?
It gets to the point where like, oh, you have so many movies now, it's just kind of getting old and the series should end. But a lot of people still like the series and they still want money. So like they're gonna crank out new ones. Like this new Transformers movie that's coming out. Like it's supposed to be a sequel to the original movies, but also a sequel to Bumblebee. So like I don't know how I feel about it. On one hand, I like Transformers and I love the Beast Wars. On the other hand, just no more Transformers movies, please.
Yeah, I agree. But I will say, I completely agree. We're definitely going to have to start wrapping this up a little bit.
Yeah.
The last topic that we have and this is something that I didn't know how I felt about it. The next, you know what? I don't think you're into Jurassic Park, right?
I've seen most of the movies, and I do kind of like it. It's just it depends on my mood, so
I got
like
you.
it.
So I guess I'll put it out there. The new Jurassic World trailer.
Oh yeah, I'm there at the theater. Like I'm already there because it looks awesome.
It almost feels like, and this is where I'm gonna say this is the only topic today. I feel like we're just gonna be the only one. This is the only time that we're gonna be like, yes, but this is the only topic that we're gonna be like that with this. I liked a lot of the visuals. Like seeing feathered dinosaurs is really, really cool. How they're in the winter, you know, when they died because of like dying in the cold, I don't understand, but and also seeing Jeff Goldblum and them back, just that's something that I'm excited to see. It almost feels like they're reeling me in with a line. There's a worm right in front of me. I hook onto it. I'm like, oh, tasty. But then they reel me in because the last movie, what was it? Fallen Kingdom. That one I did not enjoy as much. That one I don't know what it was. Just seeing dinosaurs just trapped in a mansion for like almost over an hour. I'm like, why are we doing this? Like,
right.
That's the only one that I've only legitimately been like, I cannot stand this movie. And we have a little clone girl running around now, and they're like, I'm like, I agree with Jeff Goldblum at the beginning of Jurassic Fallen Kingdom. He's like, no, this is our mistake. We should let the volcano take them out. I'm like, I agree. But then they're like, no, save the dinos. And meanwhile, now they're in the brink of a human dinosaur war. So,
well, like, I think a lot of that is to like, the studio doesn't know where else to go with the franchise, so they're just making things up. Mm-hmm. And they keep changing their minds of what's going on in the movie. Like, for 1 second, it's this, and another thing, it's like something else. Mm-hmm. So, like, they're not sure what to do with it now because they're not having any ideas on where to go. Because it's been so long of a franchise, so...
Yeah, and hopefully, and I say this in the most nice way possible, hopefully this is the last one, because they need to wrap this up. There's only so much more you can do with this, and you know, you gotta wrap it up. Unless they did a Jurassic Park movie where it was kind of Mad Max-ish with dinosaurs. That would be kind of cool.
That would be cool.
But anything else, I'm pretty sure at the end of the movie they're gonna be like, we can find a way to coexist with the dinos. Meanwhile, T-Rex is over there eating a little girl. But you know, but we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, I'm intrigued at certain elements, but I'm not in love with it. You know.
Right.
But that's just all opinion. You know. So yeah, looks like that was all our topics for this time. It looks like looks like I gotta go ahead and reach through the phone or whatever and kind of grab him and choke him out for saying something about Across the Spider-Verse, even though I was so immersed until he had to say something. Why are we bringing up old crap? All right.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you, man, doing this with me. This has actually been really dope.
I look forward to doing more too, because this was fun talking about it.
Oh yeah, there's a couple that there was a couple of other ones that I'm doing too. I think one of them, I don't want to spoil anything because they're not confirmed yet, but a couple of them are in fact very intrigued, and I can't wait for you guys to see that as well. Make sure you guys go follow this guy on TikTok to make sure that not all of his followers are bots. Mm-hmm. When you said that, I actually kind of cracked up. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. Like, I got famous. Like, I only had, like, 600 followers, and then all of a sudden, like, it went up, like, 400. I'm like, all right, some of them are probably bots.
I mean, I would say never say that they are. I mean, I would say
Right.
that
I know.
maybe they are actual people, and maybe they'll
Right.
feel completely disrespected when they see this.
Right. But yeah, I'll leave my link. I'll give him the links to my channels and social medias, and he'll put them in the description. So
Right. I'll make sure to do that, and make sure you guys go ahead and follow him on. Do you want your Instagram on there too, or do you want to leave that out?
I'll send you it.
Okay, I'll put his Instagram down below as well, and I'll do his TikTok and basically that. I'll leave your Facebook out of that way it's a little bit more private for you there. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this. I appreciate it. This has been an awesome collab. I'm actually looking forward to doing more of these because this was fun as I don't know what. And yeah, I guess if you guys like the video, make sure to let me go ahead and do my awkward intro or outro, I should say. Subscribe today to join the Isolation and go roast this guy in the comments. No, I'm messing around.